We are at Hers Machine Hydrostatics in Washington, Kansas. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're here in Washington, Kansas at Hers Machine and Hydrostatics, and we're going to check out their shop and see the inside of a hydrostatic transmission and how they work and what they do here at Hers Machine. Some pretty cool stuff. Come along. Alright, we're here inside Hers Machine with Dr. Hydro himself and Tractor Tech, and they're going to show us a little bit about what they do here at Hers Machine. So here at Hers Machine, they rebuild hydrostatic transmissions. These transmissions are used in many types of machinery, not only in agriculture, but other places too. Tractor Tech's going to tell us a little bit about what a hydrostatic transmission is and how it works.
Alright, so basically your engine powers the input shaft of your pump, and then has a mechanical force that turns it into a fluid force, and it flows in between your plates, and then is forced through your piston, and is actually, which is in the block, and is actually driven from the swash plate moving, and it makes this rotate. There's 9 pistons, and there's 9 pistons in there. That way it would never have an even amount. That way it's always offset just a little bit so it can continue to turn. If there was only 8 of them, it could get to one spot and not have the momentum to keep it forced or flowing. And it then transmits it through your pump housing, through the ports, and down to your motor, which is then mechanically driven into your front axle.
And you said this is a white room?
One of the lap rooms.
Lap rooms.
And all the rotating groups, like this is out of a motor, 2-speed motor, and your end cap, you got your valve plate, bearing plate, and the block, which is all lapped ready to go together, and then your lapped pistons. All the clean parts come in here, and then get lapped.
And by lapping, you give them the opportunity to wear into each other. Is that kind of the idea behind it?
Not necessarily. We lap the plates to a -6, -7 concave. That way when you put the plates together, they still need more lapping. And we actually make it so that the kidney surface contacts first when you put them together. And then when you force it, it finishes sealing the plate when you actually put your stack together.
What kind of clearance is in there when in the finished product? None?
Minimum to none.
Wow.
At all.
So this is how the lapping's done. This is what they look like before they've been lapped. And then here's after. So when this goes around, hydraulic fluid is pumped through here and it creates almost like a little barrier between the surfaces. Is that correct?
And then it causes it to turn, and then which turns the shaft, which makes the combine move.
And this one's damaged right here.
Yeah, we'll throw these away.
Okay. This one is in good shape?
It's in a lot better shape.
And what is this one here?
That's your rotor setup, which actually, it's like your charge pump.
Okay.
That charges your pump pressure.
What kind of machine would this have come out of?
2144 combine.
2144 combine?
It had a kink suction hose. That's why the pistons are rolled like that. So definitely going to get brand new pistons.
Yep. Here we got a charge pump, and this provides the pressure to run the whole system, is that right?
On a small frame, it provides the charge and servo.
So we're talking like 656, 666?
Yep, 544, Hydro 70, Hydro 86, 2544, 2656.
On the small frame and large frame tractor hydros, international tractor hydros, the servo anchor pin gets wallered out back and forth from the motion of the servo cylinders pulling on it. And we actually have a boring bar that we bore the housing out with, and then we make a bushing out of this chromoly pipe. That way it fixes the issue and puts it back to the correct spec that it's supposed to be.
So when they first come here, they get all cleaned up before the tear down to avoid contamination. Red or green. And we got the dyno room.
This is where the magic happens.
So is each of these for a series of frame tractors?
Yep. This one over here is your 544, 656, 666, Hydro 70, Hydro 86. Also the industrial 2544 and 2656. This one here is your large frame IH Hydro, 826, 966, 1066, 10 Hydro 100, Hydro 186, and 3048 Hydro.
And this one?
Combines, skid steers, swathers, sprayers, amusement rides,
Rear wheel assist motor.
pre-saw mud pump motors, like just about anything. Combine roll assist, mud hogs,
And these are based off of an M&W dyno?
yes.
And that's what provides the resistance to do the actual testing?
This is how we simulate a working field condition.
And we run the, like this stand here, we'll run them harder than they would ever dream of running it in a tractor.
And are these test stands, they were actually made for the IH dealers that rebuilt these, or is this something you created?
We're the only ones that have these.
Wow.
This is why our slogan is dyno tested, farmer approved. Same thing when it goes to a combine pump and motor pair. We actually simulate a working field condition because we put a pump and a motor in that test stand and we can load them together, just like they would be in the combine.
Impressive. And is this a fresh rebuild here in the dyno all hooked up?
Yes, it is.
So you've got gauges going here to drive, charge, and servo, just like we had in the other tractor.
Yep. And we even have our original prototype 10 micron filtration filter on this one.
So this is the system that you guys came up with to better protect the hydrostatic transmission from debris?
Yep, we figured in the 1970s technology filtration, we were going to bring it up to the 21st century.
And this is available as a kit that you guys sell?
Yep.
Not a lot of difference in size though, is there, physically? Between?
This one's about 650 pounds, and this one over here, the large frame, is about 1,100.
And then this is an actual rear end out of a 544 or something,
Yep.
right? And you've got a clear window.
Mm-hmm.
So do you stand on the brakes and actuate the brakes to cause the resistance?
We use the brakes to load it in forward and reverse, similar to what we do with the dyno over here.
Not only tractors, working with hydraulic pumps for other stuff too. And this one had a bad day.
You can tell the cylinder block.
Oh, the splines have twisted.
Yep, core is no good. And then when it did, when this John Deere combine did explode, it also ruined the cylinder block here also. They would not accept that core to be re-sleeved.
So contamination can snowball into something.
Well, this is why we have our filtration kit for John Deere combines, the suction filtration kit.
So we got here some carnage.
Yes, this is a off a combine that someone did not properly prepare the new pump and motor for new hydrostats. They it's called a dry startup. Did not fill the pump case full of oil, so it smeared and had brass transfer to this steel bearing plate.
Yikes. And that mistake costs.
It caused hydro not to work good, so yeah, we have brass from the bearing plate has transferred to the steel valve plate.
And that was not a cheap repair, I'm sure.
Nope.
Assembly room / parts room.
Okay, and these are all extra pieces, or these ones that you have getting rebuilt?
These are blocks and pistons that we're sending off to get re-sleeved and re-slippered.
So this brass sleeve presses out?
Yep. This one yanked the sleeve out actually. So that's why it's so important to properly flush out your oil coolers and your system on any hydrostat, because a piece of debris will get between the piston and the sleeve and something's got to give, so it's either going to yank the sleeve or pop the piston head off. And the reason that we have to send these pistons off is because there's a couple things you check. You check end play. That end play is actually good. We check these with actually dial indicators. Then also we take a micrometer or caliper and check the piston thickness. So all these have not met spec. And you can go probably on eBay and find all kinds of pistons like this somebody selling used out of salvage yard. So, but we're sending them off because we want them re-slippered, so they're good.
And you want them all to match, right? You
Yep,
want
they
them
all have to be the same thickness before we can lap everything.
This is what they're going to ride against, right?
Yep, there actually be they will actually be a thrust plate here also. These are all out of a combine. And we're sending these off to get rebushed. There's a pin that goes here that connects the servos on the cans, and these have become loose, and you can have all kinds of problems when that happens.
So you probably change speed or even creep on you?
Yep, it could do that. It's maybe not find neutral, like it's lost neutral, or not go as fast as it used to. So.
And this is used to flush coolers?
Yep.
So like these right here?
Yep, they're more attractive.
And you just hook up the hoses to these in and out, and it just flushes it out with hot oil?
180 degrees. And it pulses every couple seconds, and it sends a pulse back the other direction, and then it keeps pumping. You can either do 8, 14, or 20 gallons per minute, and then it returns all the oil through this 10 micron screen that's underneath this cover.
So we've got an International 3488 hydrostatic tractor with front wheel assist. Super cool tractor. This would have had a D466 non-turbo. Got the Western interior, super cool. And it's all set up for some hydro testing here. So we'll get a close up here of this D466 engine. You can see it's got the non-turbo manifold straight into the muffler. No turbo on these. Why do you suppose that was that they didn't turbocharge the 3488s?
They were worried about the horsepower.
Damaging the transmission? Okay.
We've got a few guys that are pushing out 260, 270 horse with their hydrostat, and
It's holding up?
Yeah.
Wow, impressive. So the hydrostat itself isn't a weak link, it's just a damaged one is a weak link.
Yeah, and part of it is when they first came out, nobody actually understood how they worked.
It's just a wizard in a box.
Yeah, and that's also when they were factory, they were mass produced. They weren't just individually replaced and worked on.
So you guys can produce a tighter tolerance transmission probably than it was new.
And we don't use the old style plates that they used in these factories.
Here's the other side of the 3488 engine. It's been converted to a sand compressor for the AC. Heck yeah, these are some awesome tractors. This is an Elwood front axle. Big old closed knuckle front end. Outboard planetaries. Now I like this can of ether. This gets me going in the morning as well. But freshly rebuilt transmission from you guys.
Yep, transmission.
Do you guys always put these tags on your finished product?
We do. That way we actually know if we went through it or not.
You know what level of maintenance was done and where the parts came from. Okay, very cool. And 966 hydro?
Nut and bolt. This tractor took up this whole 80-foot side of the shop and part of the other side of the shop. It was completely tore apart. Everything.
This is beautiful. Even LED headlights.
Yep. This was an undertaking.
This has the life coach logger.
That's
Which one starts better, the Pabst or the?
Definitely the life coach, I think, because it's sucking it up a little bit better.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Dropped so many parts off of it.
Got Hydro 100 with some issues. And you guys sell all kinds of new pieces and gaskets and stuff for all different hydrostatic transmissions?
Yep.
And we also have some reproduction IH tractor tubing, hydro controls, looks like a hydro lever. What else we got over there?
Speed ratio guides. Pretty much almost everything there is stuff you can no longer get that we started producing because we have tractors that come in here or we get calls and we need a solution for their problem. So
Nice.
like this here, control fork for 3048 and 186 hydro. We see them wear a lot.
Nice. And then this stuff over here is more internal, right?
That stuff is just off random pumps and motors that we deal a lot with for all kinds of machines there.
So most pieces you have for rebuilds is all available in-house. You don't have to order a lot, right?
We have to get them made if they're not already made. Like if we can't get them, then we have to have somebody make them for us.
So you guys are a dealer for viscosity oil. What can you tell us about viscosity oil?
Well, it's the best stuff for these old IH tractors, and especially if customers put in a whole lot of equipment. Nothing competes with this water tolerance.
And this is based on the original Hytran from back in the 60s that IH sold for the hydrostatic transmissions, right?
Yes, viscosity is the one that originally made it 60 plus years ago. For Case IH, or for IH and then Case IH.
Very cool. And you guys sell it here by the 5-gallon bucket, the drum, and you guys sell gallons too?
Yep, we shipped out a tote or two, I think, to Idaho recently even.
So these are already rebuilt and ready to ship. For looks like these are all red combines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except the top ones, we got some Gleaners up there.
Remember newer Case IHs.
Oh, the newer Case IH. And then
So we have some sprayers too, like Patriot sprayers here. And then newer combines, Case IH as well.
these are AGCO and Case IH and Mud Hogs. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
And these are ready to ship, so they don't necessarily have to send you their core. You will rebuild, have one rebuilt, sent to them, and the customer just sends the core back to you for rebuild.
There's also Patriot sprayers and various skid steers. New Holland, Case IH.
Do you guys prefer the Donaldson filters? Or do you have a preference?
For superior filtration.
If you're needing to do troubleshooting on your International Harvester hydrostatic tractor, Hers Machine sells an at-home test kit. And this kit comes with gauges and hoses so that you can do pressure tests on your machine at home to help you troubleshoot. These at-home test kits come with high pressure and low pressure gauges, a hose with the proper fittings, all the other fittings to hook up to your tractor, some awesome instructions written by the hydro experts themselves, shows what the pressures should be and where to plug things in. And this test kit's invaluable for finding the pressures that your machine's putting out so that you can troubleshoot where your problems may be. Special thanks to Hers Machine Hydrostatics for letting us take a tour of their facilities and showing us what the insides of a hydro looks like and how it works. If you're having any trouble with your hydrostatic drive and you need help troubleshooting, you need parts, service, or complete overhaul, give them a call. I'll put their information and their website link and phone number down in the description below, and they're great people to work with. I hope you enjoyed this tour and this video. I sure did, and I enjoyed putting it together. Hopefully we'll have more stuff like this in the future. Stay tuned for more.